The best gift I ever got was someone's special concern in the form of love. Hello everyone. Welcome to this session on special concerns. The learning objective are biologicals, phytopharmaceuticals, stem cell and stem cell derived product, radiopharmaceutical, regenerative medicine, nanopharmaceutical, medical device, and the regulations of these special products. Vaccines are derived from living organisms and that could be ranging from normal or genetically modified organisms. Why are they special? Because they have highly diverse molecular structure, diverse mechanism, and diverse clinical indications also make them special. Biologicals are always considered as a new product and a new drug permission is required every time because there can be a change in the quality, safety, and efficacy. They require new manufacturing processes and in the case of new manufacturer as well. Biosimilar is a biological product very similar to the reference product which is nearing its date of expiration and hence an independent applicant tries to register a new biosimilar product. Abbreviated non-clinical and clinical development because it gets leveraging on the existing information of the original product and focus on the demonstration of similarity with the original product. In the European Union, it is called as a biosimilar product. In the US, follow on protein product, and in Canada, subsequent entry biologicals. Recombinant DNA vaccine can be a subunit recombinant vaccine as in the case of protein, peptide and DNA, attenuated recombinant vaccine which are genetically modified pathogenic organism, and vector recombinant vaccine, genetically modified viral vectors that can be used as a vaccine against certain pathogens. So the guidelines, the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, Rules 1945, Recombinant DNA Safety Guidelines 1990, Department of Biotechnology, Guidelines for generating preclinical and clinical data for recombinant DNA vaccines, diagnostic and biologicals, the CDSCO, Guideline and Handbook for Institutional Biosafety Committee 2011, and Guidelines on Similar Biologicals and Marketing Authorization 2012, which has been revised in 2016. The committees involved are the Subject Expert Committee, Technical Advisory Committee, Apex Committee, Review Committee for Genetic Manipulation, especially for the preclinical data, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee for large-scale use of living modified organisms, the CDSCO, and the State Licensing Agency. What are phytopharmaceuticals? Purified and standardized fraction with a defined minimum 4 bioactive or phytochemical compound. They are quantitatively and qualitatively assessed. Extract of a medicinal plant or its part for internal or external use in the human. It is not given by a parenteral route. The data to be submitted are in Part A and Part B. Part A consists of the human and clinical pharmacological information, and Part B is the data generated by the applicant for identification, authentication of the plant, purification, fractionation, etc. What are stem cells? Stem cells are undifferentiated biologicals with the capacity for self-renewal, proliferation, and differentiation into many different types of functional cells. It can be multi-component cells, pluripotent stem cells, totipotent stem cells, unipotent stem cells, as well as oligopotent stem cells. The two important properties of stem cell is the self-renewal, that is to undergo numerous cell division while maintaining the undifferentiated state. Potency is the capacity to differentiate into specialized cell. So the potential for regeneration of tissue or replacement in disease and damaged area in the body with minimal risk of rejection and side effects is by the stem cell and stem cell based product. They are derived from processed cell or tissue with substantial or more than minimal manipulation with the objective of propagation and or differentiation of a cell or tissue, cell activation and production of a cell line. Okay, it can undergo a pharmaceutical, chemical or enzymatic treatment. alter the biological characteristic, and it can combine with a non-cellular component, manipulated even by genetic engineering including gene editing and gene modification. Stem cell based products are products that are derived from the stem cell and intended to be administered to a patient. The Drug and Cosmetic Act Section 3B, research on the stem cells and stem cell product comes under the ICMR and follow National Guideline for Stem Cell Research 2017. The committees involved are Subject Expert Committee, Technical Advisory Committee, and the Apex Committee. Apart from that, the Cellular Biology-Based Therapeutic Drug Evaluation Committee. No stem cell administration to human is permissible outside the purview of clinical trial. In India, except hematopoietic stem cells, none have been administered for treatment purpose. All administration is under the purview of clinical trial. Genome modification, including gene editing of stem cells, germline stem cells, or gamete or human embryo, is restricted only in vitro studies and not embryos. Only spare embryos or gametes can be used, and genome modified human embryo should not be cultured above 2 weeks. Only umbilical cord blood banking is permitted. No other banking is permitted until further notification. And all international collaboration in stem cell research and import of any type of stem cell require approval from CDSCO. The guideline prohibits research related to human germline gene therapy, reproductive cloning, xenogenic cells, that is those derived from different species, and breeding of animal in which any type of human stem cells have been introduced is prohibited. Coming to the regenerative medicine, the 3 R's in healing are rejuvenation, replacement, and regeneration. Regeneration focuses on boosting the body's innate ability to repair. Replacement is replacing, and regeneration is improving the self-healing process on cellular level. In April 2017, DCGI has approved chondron, that is cartilage, for we can avoid early joint replacement because the cartilage can regenerate and avoid the need for early joint replacement. The subdomains under regenerative medicine are the medical device and artificial organs, tissue engineering and biomaterials, cellular therapies, and clinical translational research. So, nanoparticles have a range of 1 to 100 nanometer, and any pharmaceutical containing a nanoparticle which is intended for internal or external application on human for the purpose of therapeutics, diagnostic, and health benefit is called as a nanopharmaceutical. We can classify nanoparticles based on the degradability, biodegradable as well as non-biodegradable, nature of nanomaterial, organic, inorganic, and multi-component, and nanoform, nanocarriers loaded with the active pharmaceutical ingredient, as in the case of carbon nanotubes or liposomes or nanoshells and nanocages, and active pharmaceutical ingredient converted to nanoforms, as in the case of nanocrystals of sirolimus, tacrolimus, phenofibrate. Second schedule of the New Drug and Clinical Trial Rule 2019 regulates the nanoparticles, and there has to be a case-by-case approach for evaluating the quality, safety, and efficacy. The liposomal formulations come under the liposomal drug product US FDA guideline released in April 2018. What are radiopharmaceuticals? A unique medicinal formulation containing radioisotopes which are used in major clinical areas for diagnosis as well as therapy. Radiopharmaceutical preparations are ready-to-use medicinal product with radionuclide. Radionuclide generator system, where a daughter radionuclide is separated from a parent radionuclide and later used for developing a radiopharmaceutical preparation. A radiopharmaceutical precursor, where a radionuclide produced for radio labeling process result in a radiopharmaceutical preparation, and a kit for radiopharmaceutical preparation where a radionuclide preparation is added to a non-radionuclide product and used within 12 hours. Regulation: an NOC has to be obtained from BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. Radiation exposure must be within the permissible limit. Pregnancy has to be ruled out. Radiation guideline must be followed if death occurs with a radiation implant, and appropriate training is necessary in handling the radioactive substance. Coming to the Ayush, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and homeopathic medicines are regulated by the Department of Ayush under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. CDSCO, State Licensing Agency, Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rules 1945 is involved in the license for manufacturing and the sales and the standards required for the Ayush medication. Part 4A of Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Part 16 of Drug and Cosmetic Rules 1945 is regarding the license, and Part 16A is for approval of institution for carrying out tests on Ayush drug and raw materials used in their manufacture. Part 17 for labeling, packing and limit of alcohol in Ayush system. Part 19 for standards of Ayush drugs. In the case of homeopathy, Part 6A for sale of homeopathic drug, Part 7A manufacture, and Part 9A labeling and packaging of homeopathic medicines. What are medical devices? In India, notified medical devices under the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rules 1945 come under the purview of drugs, and they can be substances used for in vitro diagnosis and surgical dressing like surgical bandages, surgical staples, surgical sutures, ligatures, blood and blood component collection bag with or without anticoagulant. Substances including mechanical contraceptives, condoms, intrauterine devices, tubal rings, disinfectants and insecticides notified, and devices notified from time to time come under the medical device, like the drugs undergoing clinical trial. The medical devices also the grant of certificate of registration for a notified body for audit of class A and class B medical device is in form MD1 and MD2, import license MD14 and MD15, license for sale or distribution MD7, MD8 and MD9 and MD10, license for manufacture for test, evaluation and clinical investigation in MD13 and import for the same in MD17, and import of the investigational medical device for the government hospital in MD18. Now the permissions: conduct of clinical investigation of the investigational medical device in MD22 and 23, conduct clinical performance evaluation of new in vitro diagnostic medical device MD24, 25, import and manufacture MD26, 27, import and manufacture of new in vitro diagnostic medical device 28 and 29, and registration of the medical device testing laboratory in MD39 and MD40. So we are special, our concerns are special, and so let us be us. Thank you.